Boise State, with Andy Avalos, found a way to turn it over last year after a ridiculously embarrassing loss to UTEP. So what's in store for this year? Let's pop it on the screen here. Let's see what we got. They went 10-4 last year. They were 6-7-1 against the spread, so they didn't cover at a high rate, but they found a way to win games. They went 8-0 in the conference last year. They were abysmal in the non-con, and it's going to be tough again this year with the non-conference schedule, right? At Washington, UCF, they got Memphis this year. They do have North Dakota at home. Their projected record this year is 7.8825 and 4.1175. Well, now, that's just absurd. Number 46 in returning production, number 16 on offense, number 94 on defense. And the defense is what really saved them last year, honestly. You look at some of these numbers here. Number 15 PPA margin, but they were number 55 PPA per drive on offense. So the defense is what really, really helped them out. And now you're losing a bunch of guys. We'll start off with the offense here. Obviously, you're losing the offensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter. He was able to step in that role after week 4, I think it was last year, maybe week 5, and really, really turn this thing around with the quarterback, Taylon Green. How much of a change is it from Cutter to Bush Hamdan? That's the question. Like, that's going to be the biggest thing for Andy Avalos. You have a feeling, of course, with Avalos as your head coach, that this team's going to be pretty good on defense, no matter what. However, Bush Hamdan, he was the offensive coordinator at Washington under Chris Peterson in 2018 and 2019. They were number 55, and then he regressed to number 79 in yards per play. Pretty much everybody's back on the offense other than, some of the offensive line, but still lots of experience there. Guys that have been in the system. The quarterback, Green, the running back, Kalani, Jonty, combined for 27 rushing touchdowns. They're going to run the ball a lot. They were number 44 in rushing success last year. Got to find a way to be successful throwing the football this year. Just got to find a way to do that. Moving over to the defense. They're losing 4 of the top 5 in the secondary. It's going to be a rebuild. This team was number 1 in the country in passing success rate allowed. Now, some of that may have had to do with who they played last year. Obviously, when you've got Wyoming and Air Force and whatnot on the schedule, that's you kind of expect it, right? Those teams do not throw the ball a lot. The defensive numbers were great. But again, as I just said, how much of that was the opposing offenses? The depth issues with the secondary and the defensive line, those are going to be real. It's going to take some time to build into those, and you don't want to see Washington and UCF as your first 2 games when you're trying to break in a new defense, especially defensive line and secondary. So it's something to pay attention to right there, right off the bat with the schedule. I don't expect early season success, but I think this team will round into form as they move along. They lost 44% of their tackles and nearly 60% of quarterback pressures, along with 4 of their top 5 tackles for loss leader and 4 of the top 6 sack getters. So, number 71 in luck rank last year. They were number 52 in turnover margin. Let's take a look before we get to the keys of the season. Their win total is set at 8.5 at BetUS. The over is -125. The under -105. I don't feel great, especially when your non-con includes at Memphis, UCF, and at Washington. I don't feel great about that for the early part of the season. And look, it's a firestorm right out of the gate. At Washington, UCF, North Dakota, we can probably take that one out. That's probably a win. At San Diego State and then at Memphis, the scheduling gods did them no favors. We'll just say that. The team is incredibly consistent, regardless of who the coach is, any kind of changeovers, etc. But again, losing so much on defense, that's going to stress Avalos' abilities early. I don't like the schedule early for this bunch. They've got an incredibly tough non-con, as I mentioned. The conference slate does include San Diego State and Fresno this year. Eliminating divisions, that's going to happen. I've got them beating Air Force at the end of the year. I've got them to go 8-4, so I've got them going under at -105. Ceiling on this team, I've got 10-2. The floor, I've got 6-6. So, I think they could be all right, but 8-4 sounds about right to me. But you guys let me know in the comments. I like Boise State. I like Andy Avalos, but this does not appear to be the kind of year where you would want to do a rebuild. I'll just say that. Thanks for listening to Winning Cures Everything. Make sure and follow me on Twitter @GaryWCE. If you want to toss in a question, you can email me, Gary@winningcureseverything.com. Make sure and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.